Good morning, folks, and welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. And since the relaunch of the channel, the MTV Sports, there's been a lot of innovative shows, and one that has been that has caught the fancy of a lot of people, and actually the attention of a lot of people, officially kicks off tomorrow evening. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold back a really crazy smile because the host is right next to me, and I can't believe that he is hosting such a serious show. It's called The Debater, okay? And I think this is a new side of Sashane. Good morning.
I will try to be as serious as possible. That's what I told myself before I started the show. But it's a great show. It's exciting. And it's starting tomorrow, as you said. So I'm excited. Hopefully everybody else is excited as well.
To those who know Sashane, he once upon a time hosted Planet Pulse, which is so different from this one.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. Not too long ago.
Not too long
You don't
ago.
look that different. And, of course, the very distinguished, I would like to call her the Dean of the Sri Lanka College of Journalism, Ms. Anuradha Herath. Good morning to you, ma'am.
Good morning.
See, ma'am. How is it working with Sashane?
Very entertaining.
How is it?
Very entertaining to watch him, yes.
The Debater. Okay, a lot of people have talked about that. Schools are raring to get their hands on the competition. Is it how we normally do a debate show? Is this how it is? What is so different with the Debater?
Well, this is a televised debate, so it's a little bit different from what you would, traditionally see if you physically go to a debate. But so we have a little bit of a different structure. Maybe Sachin could tell you a little bit more about that. But it makes it very much more, I don't know, exciting, I think, the specific rounds that we have and the structure that it follows. But it trains the students to be on top of their toes, intellectually as well as speaking-wise. They're expected to speak properly and get their message across. So I think it's very exciting, the setup that we have.
Do we follow a one-topic rule per episode?
Yeah, it's one topic rule per episode. But the difference, I guess, would be traditionally there are two forms of debating that is followed by high schoolers. One's the Lincoln Duncan style, which was done throughout. And then came the British parliamentary style, which was started 5 or 6 years ago. This, to give a comparison to as to what this would be, it's like you have test cricket, you have one-day cricket, then you come to 2020 cricket, right? It's very similar. The change is very similar because the entertainment factor heightens, right? And there are certain things like your argumentative skills and your critical thinking skills are tested to the fullest in this format. Because we have 4 rounds, right? The first round is very similar to what we've been doing, which is opening statements. The second round is where the differences kick in. It's called the face-off. What happens is there are POIs which you can raise. In the British parliamentary style, when you raise a POI, the person
POI
is
meaning?
Point of information. It's like a question, assuming I'm talking, the other person can question as to what I'm saying. The difference is, in this format, you can't say that you can't not take the question. You are obliged to take the question. If you're not, the judges will probably cut down on the marks if you don't take the question at the right time. Things like differences like that really enhance, I guess, the critical thinking skills of the speakers. It tests them. And for the people who are watching, it's entertaining. It's not like, okay, I'm not going to take this question right now because I don't know the answer to the question. I have to take the question, otherwise my team loses marks. Things like that really.
So you really have to know what you're defending thoroughly. Like you can't come there with a, oops, I'm just going to wing it.
You can't wing it whatsoever because teams are given preparation time around a week or a bit more than that. So when they come in, you can't stretch a debate for 4 rounds if you don't know what you're talking about. If you have not done your research, it will show. And in this instance, unlike a normal debate, it's not going to be an audience of 10 people. It's going to be most of your country watching you. So the people who are coming in obviously are way more prepared than usual. They take it seriously and they know their stuff, which makes it amazing to watch.
Well, from the judges' point of view, so is there a time that from what we have so far, that they come overly prepared or too much facts? How is the facts content of because sometimes you get an overload. Like they're too eager. It's like one bam, 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 bam on the first round itself.
Right.
How do you?
Yeah, there are occasional instances where that happens. I mean, it's impressive that they have done their research, but you have to know when to present that research. You know, if you're just blatantly just reciting fact after fact after fact, and it's not really relevant to the argument, then that also affects how much points you get. So it's not only reciting facts, but knowing what the argument is, and giving the appropriate facts at the appropriate time, which really counts. And not everyone can do that. So the people who do that, will definitely get the points and the favorable judges' opinions.
I recommend that massive preparation is also coming from your end, because you are to judge these representatives of schools, like for every topic.
Well, there are the panel of judges, 3 judges on the panel. So the 2 guest judges that we invite are basically experts on whatever topic for that day. So it's not like they have to prepare additional, because they're experts anyway, so they know the content because that's their profession. So content-wise, the judges do judge, the debaters on if they have the appropriate content, as well as we judge them on their speaking ability. Do they follow the rules, because this is an official debate, and also their speaking style. Some people will ramble, some people will get to the point soon, so that obviously affects the marks.
One thing I love about watching debates are how they psych out the opposition. Out of nowhere, you get a flower. I remember people from law school doing that. Is that allowed?
Well,
to like the psych battle before they start opening their mouths?
I think one thing that we stressed on when we initially told them about the debate, the new format, is the fact that there's a lot of frills that you can do when you're debating. As you said, you can give things to the opposition, but it's purely based on content. I guess content is given a really high point from the judge's perspective as well, as she's said now. Second would be your presentation skills, and if there's something that you can do within the confines of your topic, it will probably get pulled off. But apart from that, it's up to them if they want to add in frills or not. It's completely open. We don't stop them from doing it, but they might get their points deducted. Who knows? It's up to the debaters.
When discussing a topic, were you given a list of this should not be talked about?
No, we're not given restrictions like that, but I mean, we try to encourage people to have a professional debate. As you know, I mean, Sri Lanka has had a history of really good parliamentary debaters, but I think many will agree in the past several years that standard has degraded somewhat. So we're trying to promote this new generation of professional debaters. So we'd like to encourage people to respect the other's view. If you disagree with them, do so respectfully, and that type of thing. So those types of, because we have had situations where people try to intimidate, as you say, with not so professional techniques, and that could also have an impact, because we do really want to encourage professional debating skills.
Well, not really too much for the coming episodes. What topics have we so far?
They're really pertinent topics, things that are relevant regardless of how old you are and where you stand in society. One of the topics that we've debated thus far was the legalization of the death penalty. That was a really good debate. So
that's probably a lot of verses and a lot of
yeah. I don't want to spill the beans right now, because people need to tune in. They need to watch the show, because it's going to be entertaining. It's not going to be boring, because some people associate boring with debating.
Talk is always thought as boring.
Yeah, it's not whatsoever going to be boring, because in a sense, it's the creation of dialogue itself, right?
How do you manage to control them? Especially if you're very passionate. My initial questions, do they come with knowledge on both sides of the issue, or are they given what side they're going to stand up for, to prepare?
Well, they are, but then by default they have to know the other side. They have to anticipate the other person's questions, the other person's argument. If you're to win a debate, you have to know both sides of the debate. So that will really show. It'll show if the team does or does not know about the other side of the debate.
From your side, from the judge's side, and from the host, from the presenter side, is it easy to control? Because sometimes you get too emotional, not emotional, but too much into your topic that you just want to keep defending it. Has there been a moment that you just have to say, really, really sternly put your foot down, enough?
I don't think we try to control the debaters, because that would stray away from what we want to do from the show, which is to promote democratic dialogue. If they are passionate about something, they are passionate about it. You shouldn't stop them from being passionate. The control aspect comes with the time limits, obviously.
Oh.
You're not given half an hour to talk about something.
Yeah.
You're given an allotted time minute. It's either 2 minutes or 3 minutes maximum, and you have to stick to that time. And that's the only control aspect we have, where we say you have to stop that. But if they want to be passionate, if they are formalized, go ahead.
And my question for Anurag, just before we end the discussion, being a journalist, from especially heading the School of Journalism, when everything is precise, you got the 4 W's and the 1 H from the first paragraph. Now the presentation, to those watching and hoping to join, how, as a journalist, can you give them a tip on how to present their topic? Because you are given a time limit. You can't just go rambling. So do you expect them to follow the 4 W's and the 1 H?
Well, I mean, when it comes to debating, it's a little bit different from, strict journalism principles, but then research is common, for both streams. If you really have researched your topic, then you can form your argument, But then, like Sachin said, we put content is key. 60% of the marks are on content, and 20% on style, and 20% on strategy. So if you have done your research, then you should be able to spit out, the information as your opponent brings up the different arguments. So I think research is key, and then you have to know how to, within the time limit that you have, to concisely get your point across. So those are, I guess, journalism principles as well, concise, short, but informative. So.
Okay, so I'm giving you the floor, sir. It's a different view, and it's a different Sachin that we'll be seeing starting tomorrow evening on MTV Sports. So just, if you don't mind telling our viewers to watch it tomorrow.
It's going to be different, because it's not going to be the usual format of debating. We've spoken about that, and it's another chance for you to go back into your school days, right? These are your schools, your high schools taking part. It's going to be your future leaders who'll be battling it out in a place where we are giving them the forum to talk about pertinent issues. And these are relevant topics. So we've said it time and time again to you, to me, and to everybody who's in our society. So watch, be a part of it, and as we say on The Debater, be a part of the dialogue.
Be a part of the dialogue. So there you go. And how do they get to join?
Well, there are 2 ways. One I'll spill now. The second is
when they watch tomorrow.
When they watch tomorrow, they'll find out as to how they can be a part of the show, how the viewers can be a part of the show. The first is social media. It's www.facebook.com/MTV, the debate on MTV Sports. So go in there, watch the debates, comment, and we can talk about the debate and how they comment on the show.
Oh, so these are now generation. I think we're now called Generation C, because we're the connected generation. So it's the Generation C now, talking their minds and hopefully delivering the message. And starts tomorrow on MTV Sports. So please do catch The Debater. And thank you very much, you both, for coming over. I know it's early in the morning. Thank you. And we'll be back with more GMSL after this.